Welcome to Crossing the T's and Dotting the I's in Parenting Children and Education with me, Renny Adejuwon. And we are in the 10th month of this journey of child development, 12 years of child development. So we're looking at the 10 years old in this 10th month of child development. And it's been a fantastic journey. I've enjoyed it, and I hope you've enjoyed it yourself with all the watching. And I hope you're benefiting from all the information I'm sharing. So please share, like, and comment in the sections as well. Tentative 10-year-olds, 10-year-old children, tentative 10s. I kind of gave it that title because children can be uncertain about themselves. They think they are teenagers at this age, but also they are stepping into the double digits of childhood. They're never going to be single digits anymore, double digits. And that syndrome of double digits tends to be a big deal with them. They're very excited. And also, in some cases, age 10 is a big time to throw a party for some children, some families believe in that. So, and in most cases, the children tend to have a lot of say in a 10-year-old party. The celebrant, the child turning 10 years old, has a lot of say. They have their own ideas, they have their own themes they might have on how they want their party to go. So, that is the big number, 10-year-old, the double digits having their say as well. And at this age as well, genetics is playing a lot of role. There's so many things happening to the child at this age that is not visible. And genetic makeup plays a lot in a child's physical development from this age. So there's a lot of genetics going on. While environmental and social influences can have an impact on a child's emotional development from this age as well. There's a lot of, genetics is what the child is made up between, the two parents that actually had the intercourse in creating the child. So, genetics from the father's side, from the mother's side, from the parent's side. So there's a lot of that going on now at this age of 10. It's always been, but it's more prevalent now. And also the social and environmental factors as well. Your child at the age of 10 would have been to school, they will have had 10 years of interacting with people, both socially in the home and outside of the home, and the environment they might be living in, be it the cultural environment, the kind of amenities they have. So they've got that is engaging with them at this age. And there is rapid growth for some boys, voice breaking into deep tones. And at the age of 10, the more significant impact tends to be seen in boys because, I mentioned when I covered the 8-year-olds about, girls in most circumstances begin, their menstruation around the age of 8. There are very rare cases of girls that's begun, but now 10, the impact, particularly when it comes to boys, is you're seeing that developmental changes in their tone of voice. And also their testicles as well and penis changes in size because of now they're growing more, the physical aspect, particularly with the boys. There's been a lot of changes going on within their body, a lot of changes, particularly research has shown more in the brain development of the boys, which we don't tend to see. But now from this age of 10, those changes in voices are beginning to kick in. the testicle and penis sizes are changing. Another change you will notice at the age of 10 is the penile erection that tends to be more visible in boys. And this is because of the changes in size of their testicles and their penis. But I mean, it's natural. Research has said it that actually from the conception in the womb, boys have always had erections, and that is what researchers said. But because of the changes in the size of the testicles and the penis for the boys, this is more visible. Parents pay more, are able to see this, but definitely right from birth, boys always have erection, because that is just, muscles working, maybe if they sneeze or they stretch their body, but more so at this age because the size is changing and the development is kicking. At the age of 10 for boys, the scrotum is in the process of developing, growing, and producing sperm. This is that process of changes taking more physically in boys now, and that those are the kind of changes. Some girls would have started their menstrual cycle with signs of breast development, and usually 2 years ahead of boys in physical development. And this is kind of relates to what I said in my previous videos as well, in terms of girls' development, because girls tend to start their puberty development much earlier than boys in most cases. So this is where researchers said that, that 2 years gap ahead of boys, but definitely, with the menstrual circles, some girls have started their menstrual circles, and also the breast glands are beginning to show now on the chest. Research has shown that there are a lot of internal growth and development taking place in the body and not visible to the eyes. And that's what researchers said based on all of this. But now that visibility is coming to show. Another sign of puberty at the age of 10 is the not so pleasant, body odor that starts to show in children. Some children may have shown this sign much earlier, but particularly at the age of 10, this starts to be more prevalent. Parents start smelling, or carers start smelling some, not so pleasant smells coming from, your 10-year-old. And I think it is very, very important for parents to address this and talk about personal hygiene. Very important, because of course, girls that have started menstruation as well, including the smell of the body because of their sweat, the chemicals going on in their body, is very important to have that conversation with them, including the boys. And that conversation of personal hygiene, how you have it, will have that stepping stone on how confident your child might be in dealing with that situation, in knowing what they need to do. Whatever product your child needs, ensure you get it, because that is very important. Some parents may go for more chemical-free deodorant or perfumes, and some parents might go for there are different types of product you can use in the market. So it's very, very important for parents to have this personal hygiene with their children. You should never shy away from it, because of, you're their parent. Say it in a very positive way, say the consequences of how it might have an impact on their social skills or their social relationship and environment, and just let them have an understanding that is actually natural, but there should be a process. They should have the confidence of managing these things because of the chemical going on in their body. So, that conversation about body others and, using the right products to help them is very, very important. At the age of 10, children begin to investigate. They enjoy investigating things, they enjoy investigating how things work. And, they are more productive. They like being productive. They are goal oriented and focused. That is what more intellectual when we're thinking about their intellectual growth. At the age of 10, children can become absorbed in their individual activities for hours. That's the thing they're doing because they're becoming more focused. At this age, children are understanding the concept of childbirth, understanding the concept of health, the body, and the different parts of the body, illness and death as well. So, children at this age, the conversations of, having maybe if there's a lost, a family member, died, or there was a birth in the family, or maybe there's a serious illness in the family. At this age of 10, children are more matured in having that discussion because of where they're. Remember, I said they've now lived for 10 years. So that maturity, even with all the changes going on in their body as well, they are in their state of mind to have a better understanding about this concept of birth, death, changes in the body, and illnesses that may be terminal in some cases. But it's very important to still address those topics in a very sensitive way, depending on the maturity of the child and, depending on the support that might be around the family as well. In discussing this conversation, even if it's divorce as well, or separation between the parents, children at this age tend to have a better understanding. Their understanding is a bit much maybe say matured, because if you remember as well, when I covered the 9-year-old last episode, I talked about now a 9-year-old is seen as being a bit more matured, but 10 years old, having this conversation with them, it can be handled in a much better way because of where they are in their own development, brain wise, focused, and the changes in their body as well. At age 10, outbursts and tantrums are very short-lived, particularly with boys. And, this tends to quickly turn to remorse and trying to find a solution to the problem. They do have outbursts, they do have angers, expressing themselves in a more vocal way. But particularly boys, they tend to forget about it, move on, or try to solve the problem. Maybe on the other side, girls might want to maybe stay a bit more in their emotions because of their growing up, and also because of the chemicals going on in their body as well. But you see that distinguishing between a boy of 10 and a girl of 10 when it comes to emotional outburst, in relation to managing emotions or anger like that. At this age, children move from having general friendship, being friends maybe with one person here and there or in a group, to a more best friend kind of pal buddy kind of relationship. In that sense, they have maybe one particular person, a particular child that they have a very close relationship with and identify as being a best friend. And also at this age, there is the ability for children to be in that hero worshipping mode of maybe worshipping a particular person, having an idol that they just look up to. When I did the 9-year-old, remember I talked about, if you haven't watched it, go back and watch it. I talked about, 9-year-old tending to worship their teenage older siblings, But now at this age, children are in the idol worshiping, heroic, looking up to people to, just worship them. And if you think about it, most 10-year-old, 11, I mean, from the age of 10, that's when people, children might start having posters on the wall, some, but more into the teen year. But at this age, that is when that definitely tends to start, that idol worshiping of an individual of a choice. At the age of 10, children tend to have a high moral standard. For some reason, researchers said that children at this age tend to have a high moral standard and want to always be in right standing. For example, if a child wants to go for a bike ride or a bicycle ride, the tendency that they would definitely wear their helmet is very much prevalent at this age. Or even if they see someone that doesn't seem to be doing the right thing, they are very, very quick to point out and say, oh, that doesn't look right. I mean, I mentioned that also from the age of 9, but particularly at this age, it's very, very difficult for a child to want to deviate from what is seen as wrong. So they tend to have a high moral standard at this age. So that is the end of the 10-year-old. My focus today was more on the boys because this is from this age you're seeing that physical development coming out into the boys, physical growth in the sense of the deep voice changing, in the sense of, all the developmental growth that might have been coming up in maybe their penile or testosterone enlargement or scrotum release in sperm. So but also girls as well, the breast gland is growing, and the genetics of parents that in relation to the child begins to show now. But it is very important to understand that environmental and social aspect also has a part to play in the development of a 10-year-old. And the last one I talked about, not the last one, but a key aspect of a 10-year-old is paying attention to, the personal hygiene of a 10-year-old because of their, those particular smells that are coming out from their body right now because of all the different chemicals coming out and trying to help them get through puberty. And I hope you have enjoyed this, and please do send your questions in as we come to the end of the year. Can you imagine the 10th month of the year? It's been an exciting journey for me. And please, if you have any questions, do remember to contact me via my website, rennyadejuwon.com, or you can put your questions in any of the comment sections you find this clip to listen to. I remain Renny Adejuwon, and you can definitely find all my videos, all of them, at rennyadejuwon.com. I look forward to seeing you on the next session.